Is the truth behind Jungkook's smile darker than we imagine? How long has this secret been hidden among the laughter and tears of the army? If you thought you already knew everything about the story behind last night's studio meeting, prepare to be dumbfounded. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share your comments on Army Theory, because only here you will find surprising answers. As the studio screen dimmed and the spotlight shifted to the back of the stage, Jungkook seemed speechless, his eyes staring blankly at the newly installed microphone. In another corner of the room, Jimin moved frantically, his face paled, his heart beating fast. What really happened a few minutes earlier? When the camera panned, there were sighs of the staff, the sound, the beat of a stopped keyboard, and the rustle of costume fabrics. All of them became silent witnesses of the emotional upheaval that had just erupted. It all started when the manager suddenly announced that an important document regarding the world tour contract had been found missing. But inside the report was hidden an extra sheet, a handwritten note mentioning the name of someone who had never been mentioned before. The name piqued Jungkook's curiosity to the point that he fell over when he read the last line. "I can't believe this," he muttered softly, his voice almost drowned out by the rumbling of his own heart. Jimin, who from the beginning only thought it was an administrative matter, now realizes that this scandal is much deeper. He saw Jungkook staring at him. Their eyes met, and a frantic frown appeared on his forehead. "Yoonhee?" hissing, surprised. "Who's Yoonhee?" Army may have heard whispers about HYB's mysterious personal assistant, but why did her name suddenly appear on this exclusive document? While rumbling hearts clash in the chest, shadows of the past crawl to the surface, overnight text messages, diverted midnight calls, and secrets revealed behind the scenes. The studio alarm chimed quietly, signaling that the critical time was running out. Was the document really lost, or was it deliberately hidden? And what does Yoonhee have to do with Jungkook's heart-rending silence? In the back hallway, the production staff whispered, their eyes staring at the dressing room door where Jungkook and Jimin disappeared. Everyone is guessing. Will this destroy their friendship? Or rather strengthen it? No one knows, except the two young men and one mysterious name engraved on the paper. When the door finally opened, Jungkook stepped out with a pale face. Apparently, he had already decided something. "I should know," he said softly, taking a deep breath before turning to Jimin. Her hand trembles as she reaches for the phone, opening the last message from Yoonhee. At that moment, the whole room was holding its breath. What does the message say? How could a single word change the course of their destiny? In another corner, Jimin sobbed softly, his little heart felt an unbearable tension. He tried to speak, but the words choked in his throat. "Why are you?" he asked in a half-whisper, but Jungkook only shook his head, his shaded eyes now radiating deep pain. Although they stood side by side, the emotional distance between them felt like a bottomless abyss. Outside the studio, the lights of the city began to flicker, marking the turn of the night. But for Jungkook and Jimin, the night is just beginning, with unanswered questions and secrets waiting to be revealed. Who would have thought? A small handwritten sheet is able to shake their world to the bottom of the soul. Meanwhile, army rumors on social media have been spreading. Some speculate on Jungkook's long-standing relationship with Yoonhee. Others doubt the motives of the management. Some claim there is a hidden message behind the lyrics of the latest song, while others find clues in this morning's training video. All theories milled, all remained a mystery, until they were both willing to talk. As a reader, you may be wondering, why Yoonhee, and what was her role during this time? And more importantly, what was Jimin's fate after the truth was revealed? Will their friendship survive, or will it crack beyond repair? Keep reading, for in every word that follows lies an unexpected surprise, a stifling emotion, and an answer that will probably leave you as speechless as Jungkook himself. A moment after the door closed tightly, the echo of Jungkook and Jimin's steps still echoed in the narrow corridor of the studio. The ticking of the wall clock sounds louder, marking each increasingly stressful second. With a hoarse voice, Jungkook finally broke the silence. "You know what all this means, men?" Jimin swallowed. He looked at Jungkook with a mixture of guilt and fear. But before Jimin could answer, the sound of the door knocking was heard again. The senior manager appeared with a tense expression, trying to contain the rumors that had spread. The next morning, news of the appearance of the name Yoonhee on the contract document had invaded the army's timeline. Everywhere popping up screenshots, mysterious message, "Do not panic. All will be revealed tomorrow. I can't keep this secret." And one last message that made Jungkook shiver. "I just want you to know the truth before the publisher finds out." How is it possible for a management assistant to write a message as if he were part of Insider HYB? Then, what exactly is Yoonhee's role in Jungkook's life? A few hours after the incident in the studio, Jungkook retreated for a moment to an empty rehearsal room. There, she opens a photo album on her phone, candid pictures she once took secretly, a portrait of Yoonhee laughing with the production staff, her warm greeting to Jungkook in the hallway of the building, and one glancing moment as she observes Jungkook from afar. It all used to seem ordinary, but now every smile is a charge of mystery. Is there a strong bond between them that has never been revealed to the public? Or is it just an illusion of dramatic friendship deliberately built for the sake of branding needs? As the news spread to BTS members' chat groups, Suga and RM's first reaction was confusion. They exchanged frantic messages, asking, "Is this a joke? Did HYB interfere again?" But the one who responded the fastest was Taehyung, who without hesitation called Jimin. His voice sounded hoarse. "Min, we have to talk directly. This could ruin everything." As if feeling the pressure of time, Jimin immediately accepted the invitation, although his heart trembled, afraid that the truth he would tell would aggravate the situation. In a hidden cafe near HYB's office, Jimin waited with a pale face. Holding a yellow piece of paper, it turns out to be a copy of Yoonhee's message that she secretly printed. "I'm afraid this thing is leaking," Jimin said as he handed over the paper. Jungkook read with tears in his eyes. "I never thought." Line by line, Yoonhee apologizes. She admitted to accidentally signing a secret contract about Jungkook's solo project that was planned long ago. Projects are not allowed to appear until BTS's next album is officially released. Why is Yoonhee keeping it a secret? Does he respect the agency's wishes, or deliberately exploit the position to test Jungkook's loyalty, testing how far he will go to keep secrets? Or even, is this a psychological test HYB designed to keep Jungkook motivated? These questions continue to hang, making their chest tight. The news of the leaked secret documents immediately drew sharp speculation. Some of the fanbase accused HYB of deliberately deflating the controversy to raise anticipation for the new album, a classic marketing strategy wrapped in scandal. Others accused Yoonhee of being a planned leaker, a figure deliberately inserted to test Jungkook's reaction. But among all the theories, the one that sticks out the most is the forbidden romantic story. Is Yoonhee more than an assistant? Is he the person who has been relying on Jungkook behind the sparkling screen of the stage? As the news continues to roll in, Jungkook must decide what to do next: save his reputation, deal with the emotional consequences, or open up to the truth. And what about Jimin? Will he stay by his best friend's side, or choose to step down to protect the group's image? There are no easy answers. Only one thing is certain: when the truth explodes, the bond formed in the studio could potentially shatter into pieces. What's your reaction, ARMY? Is this just another management drama, or a deeper hidden love story? Leave your thoughts in the comments, like if you want Jungkook to speak out, and subscribe to get exclusive updates on this hottest scandal. As the evening wore on, HYB's conference room was filled with anxious whispers. Well-dressed executives walked around the glass table, exchanging glances. In the corner of the room, an emergency meeting summons was affixed to the wall. Discussion of Jungkook's secret document scandal, maximum security level. How could a solo project of this height get caught on ARMY radar before its time? And more importantly, who was the internal party that let it leak? Behind the black curtains of the boardroom, the chief marketing officer sips cold coffee while playing back the closed-circuit studio footage. The seconds as Jungkook holds the document, as his gaze unfolds between disbelief and surprise. "We need mitigation strategies." His voice was firm, but trembling. If the ARMY loses confidence, the whole image of BTS could collapse. A junior staffer proposed a clarifying video, but the idea was immediately rejected. Too risky. "We better let Jungkook answer for himself." "Naturally," said Simo. Meanwhile, in Jimin's apartment, he sat glued to the living room floor, surrounded by mineral water bottles and shabby tissues. Her tears broke again as she thought of the guilt that was suffocating her. "I should have hidden this," she muttered to herself. In her heart, she knows the truth about Yoonhee's role isn't just a matter of administration. It's about fractured trust, neglected promises, and the risk of betraying the thousands of hearts that have always supported them. How could he look Jungkook in the eye again after knowing Yoonhee's role all along? Not far from there, The army enlivened social media with the hashtags #TruthForJK and #ProtectMen. Some shared screenshots of the documents. Others created long threads discussing the theory of the Hybe loyalty test scenario. Even some anonymous accounts claimed to have recordings of internal conversations. Because of the rapid flow of information, some accounts mistakenly distributed fake documents, adding to the confusion and uproar. Under these conditions, a single tweet error can spark a new controversy that, on the other hand, Jungkook chose to temporarily withdraw from the public spotlight. She posted a black and white photo of herself in an empty studio with the short caption, "I need some time." Instantly, millions of likes and comments flooded the post. Some praised his courage to be honest, while others demanded a deeper explanation. For sure, the post made the controversy unflagging. That night, the conversation between Jungkook and Jimin continued behind the scenes. In a soft but firm voice, Jungkook said, "Min, I'm not mad at you. I'm just afraid that all this will change the way I look at you." Jimin looked down, tears streaming down his cheeks. "Forgive me for carrying this burden for so long," she whispered softly. The moment confirms one thing. Their friendly relations are at a crossroads. Will they grow stronger together? Or, on the contrary, be torn apart by secrets? Tomorrow morning, HYB will release an official statement. Will they hand Jungkook in the clarification video, or let him appear alone on the live broadcast? And how will Jimin's reaction unfold before the public? All of these questions will be answered in our follow-up report. Stay with us, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Do you support Jungkook being fully open, or should it be kept secret for the sake of BTS's survival? As dawn broke, the conference hall of HYB headquarters turned into a silent battleground. Chairs lined up, projector screens lit up with company logos, waiting for the seconds of the official announcement. Jungkook, dressed in a neat black suit, stepped slowly to the podium, his face holding back fatigue after a restless night. Beside him, the senior manager seemed to be holding his breath, while the other executives stared straight ahead, realizing how precarious this situation was. "Well, beloved army," Jungkook's voice shook the space, breaking the silence. His eyes looked directly into the camera, as if speaking to millions of fans who were looking forward to clarity. "Last night, I and my friend Jimin discovered something surprising about my personal project. Yoonhee's name appears on documents that are not supposed to be public. I know many of you feel panicked, worried, maybe even betrayed." He took a deep breath, holding back his emotions. "I apologize for allowing this controversy to surprise you before I understood everything myself." In an instant, the whispering stopped. The camera flash breaks the silence, highlighting Jungkook's vulnerable yet sincere voice. Jimin stood at the back, his figure dumbfounded. There was a sense of sympathy and heaviness still looming in his eyes. A moment later, Jungkook turned his head, handing the microphone to Jimin. "Min, say it softly." Jimin gulped, his voice trembling as he spoke. I took a copy of that document to make sure there was no mistake. I don't mean to hide anything. I'm just afraid if this thing leaks before we're ready." He lifted his head, his eyes met again. "I'm sorry, Jungkook." The room was silent, as if time had stopped for a few seconds. Then, applause broke out. Not derision, but genuine support from executives who realized how much pressure there was behind the scenes. It was then that Jungkook revealed the crux of the matter. The secret solo project was actually a birthday present for ARMY, a series of songs recounting their journey together. Yoonhee, as a personal assistant, only executes instructions to keep this plan a secret, not to manipulate or test trust, but rather to guard against the coming miracle that as soon as the announcement was over, social media exploded with a new wave of hashtags. #GiftForRMY and #TrustJimin. A few hours later, a 30-second teaser clip was posted on YouTube, footage of Jungkook recording vocals in the studio, ending with a lyric full of emotion. "We are together, despite the storm." ARMY was transfixed, moved to tears by Haru, feeling the bond growing tighter. Even the strongest comments turn into support. "It turns out that all this is for our sake. Jungkook, thank you for the most beautiful surprise." On the other hand, BTS's group dynamics are also experiencing a new twist. RM called all the members, invited them to gather in the rehearsal room to listen to the demo of the solo song together. Between laughter and a warm hug, Jimin hugged Jungkook tightly, his whisper clearly audible. "You're amazing, John. Thank you for trusting."